Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. In this podcast, we will give you potentially fake news mixed with extremely real and factual opinions. We record and you listen.
That was a tongue twister. Good job.
Yeah, it's
Real,
not.
fake, factual opinions.
Yes, real and factual opinions.
One way to put it.
It's very, very, very solid. And to my left, judging the way that I have worded the intro, is Tyler. Hi, Tyler.
Hi guys, how's it going? I am Tyler. What does Phil say? I am Tyler. This is how I always sound. This is what my voice sounds like.
I thought he always said, "This is Tyler. Hear me roar."
This is Tyler. Hear me roar. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I was tired, but I'm a little perkier now.
Wow.
Well, that's what Red Bull will do to you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Phil.
Thanks, Red Bull, for sponsoring this podcast.
And nobody on the entire planet has any idea who's talking about Red Bull right now, but I'm going to introduce him.
Red Bull, get perky.
Shut up, Jake. To my diagonal is Jake. Oh, wait. No, that's Phil. Hi, Phil.
Here I am. This is Phil.
So we got Tyler and Phil here. Phil's got the buttery voice that's extremely
Like butter.
It's as though you shoved butter up your nose, right? That's your voice?
That's what it feels like day to day.
I actually really thought about that, like thinking how that would work. Shoving butter up your nose. Just sounds really slimy.
I agree. And directly straight across from me, wearing a, I'm pretty sure that's Star Trek hat.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yes, Rise of the
not
Resistance, the Star Trek episode.
Star Wars.
Yes, that's my favorite Star Trek is
Stop
Rise of
it.
the Resistance.
Stop it.
We got Jacob.
Stop it.
Jacob,
Don't. Hi, guys.
correct me, Jacob.
This is Jacob.
Turn to the dark side. Give me all your fury.
My hat is Star Wars. Rise of the Resistance.
I love that Jean-Luc Picard is in charge of the Resistance.
Stop it. Stop it.
He's my favorite. All right, who's running this thing? Oh, it's me. Good. So,
and
yeah.
Jeff is sitting across from me.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I've got the margarine sounding voice.
The lower caloric.
Well, it'd be a higher caloric. What's higher caloric than butter? Well, like the back fat of voices right over here.
I don't know, pig drippings,
Yeah.
Oil? Is it oil?
oil.
Olive oil?
Canola. With my
Is it margarine that has less saturated fat
I don't know,
than
Jake.
butter?
I don't know, Jake.
What about fat? Like the fat
Just
of a
fat.
pig.
Yeah. Bacon grease.
What about, just fat?
Raw
Grease,
bacon.
the grease voice.
Okay, the first story, we're going to go into micro news, American Fork. Anyone that's from American Fork is familiar with Steel Days.
Oh, yeah.
Steel Days is coming up. I'm very excited. But I found this interesting history of Steel Days. It's a 75-year anniversary of Steel Days.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Only 75?
Yep. Well, here's the interesting thing is that it's been called Timber Days, and that was in 1865. Liberty Days, that was in like 1910. Poultry Days in the 20s, and then it moved to Steel Days in the 40s. So Steel Days for 75 years, but it's been going on for much longer.
But the American Fork Celebration Days has been for a really long time.
Yeah.
Longer than that.
Well, and it's interesting because it was Timber Days for wood reasons, I'm sure. And then, anyways, it's just interesting. Poultry apparently was a big deal.
Then when they ran out of wood, they had chickens.
Yep. When they had just open fields and no forests, they just had chickens out there, I think is how it went. But apparently what converted it into Steel Days was that basically they built a steel plant out here, and it wasn't Geneva. It was another small steel mill, and that's what kicked off Steel Days. The other thing I thought was really cool was Steel Days is the only local area that not the only, one of the only that continued the celebration through COVID. They still had Steel Days last year. I didn't actually know that. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think the attendance was probably quite as high as expected, but they had it.
So they didn't have Strawberry Days. Or is that that's Pleasant Grove, right?
Pleasant Grove. I don't think they did. Did they cancel Pleasant Grove Strawberry Days last year, Jake?
They had minimal celebrations, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No parade and no that things.
So it was just a singular Strawberry Day.
Yeah.
They call it Strawberry Hour.
Yeah, Strawberry Minute.
Well,
Which is 100 years this year.
And it's
Was.
because there was a strawberry in Pleasant Grove once.
Yeah. Someone found a strawberry and they're like, wow, let's celebrate that for a long time.
Yeah.
Every single year
For 100 years.
in mid-June.
Yeah. Well, don't change the subject, Jake. Jeez,
won't.
This is unbelievable.
Steel days.
But what's your favorite? Do you have a memory of steel days?
Yes. So, growing up, obviously, my grandparents lived a block south of where the park is. It still at the same park?
Yeah,
in the
I
center
think
of
so.
town. And so they would give us tickets, and then we'd walk over and do all the rides and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was probably it.
Yeah, they lived right there, huh?
Yeah, they were just right by the library, so we had an easy parking spot. Go in, and that was about it.
Yeah. You jump on the Gravitron, throw up your lunch.
Go on
I
Orbiter?
actually, is that the one that spins
zipper?
around?
Yeah.
I actually tried standing on it.
Yeah, did that work?
I got like to my knees and then I flipped back over, so I got in trouble. But it was fun.
Don't do that. Some 15-year-old
some carny with no teeth.
carny.
Ooh, there's
Stop that.
Stop there.
Stop standing up on the rides.
What is the name of the
On the ride.
of the all the what is it called? What's the name of the company that does that?
Carnies. No, it's called City of Fun.
City of Fun.
City of
yes.
Fun. Okay.
I'm
They're
so
based in Pleasant Grove
kind of upset I know
Yeah,
that.
I've seen all the stuff over there.
by Geneva
They just
Road.
like travel around making up new holidays for all the towns so they can
This is going to be Praying Mantis
Set-
Days.
set the
Every
carnival
August.
up.
I drove through that town and had myself a peach. That's a peach days.
That's the only thing I can remember.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun though as
That's
a
a-
kid.
it's a good
I
part.
haven't been there for years.
Yeah, I haven't been back for years either. I plan on doing it this year though. You should come with.
When is it?
It's the
Starting on
10th of
3rd
July.
3rd through the 10th
Yeah,
is all of the celebrations.
right.
I can make it.
I'm going to go to the quilting show at the Senior Citizen Center.
That sounds like a blast.
Is that really a thing?
It really is, yeah.
I should
But
go.
I'm not really
I should
going.
take my grandma. She's like a quilting maniac.
She'd probably love it. I'm
Yeah.
not joking. Well, Phil,
Like her and her daughter have like a legit like CNC quilting machine set up in the back shed.
What's a
CNC?
Like computer navigated cutter, except it doesn't cut, it sews.
So it's got
Oh my
some, the
gosh.
big
It's
sewing table.
CN. So it'll quilt like bunnies into your quilt and stuff.
CNS,
CN.
computer navigated sewing.
Yeah. Stitching.
Stitching.
it's a CVS, pharmacy and quilter.
CVB.
We're sewing
No, but
training
I've
right now.
puked twice at that carnival. I should add. Yeah. And one time was riding the Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
How-
that's
The Ferris wheel.
The Ferris wheel.
So
yeah.
I rode like a couple rides and was way sick. And I'm like, I'll ease it down and ride the Ferris wheel. And like halfway through the ride, I was like, uh-oh, I am not going to make it. And I just leaned over and puked right in the little like foot tray that swings out in front of you.
from how high up though?
I was probably like, I don't remember what position I was at. I just remember getting off and like looking at the attendant that was looking at my puke and being like, man, that sucks. So that's your problem. And just walked right away.
You're like, this is a really relaxing.
So the other time was way worse. It was on the zipper, like
Oh, yeah.
inside the zipper.
Oh man, in the zipper.
How old were you? Because I swear I remember that, or at least I remember the story.
I don't know. I don't remember the ages I was when these things happened.
Which one's
but-
a zipper?
Like
So
last
it's one
year.
where you sit in and it looks like a big zipper.
It's like,
It
on
goes
an arm
this
with a bunch of
way
cars.
and
Oh, I
swings.
hated that one.
It
Yeah.
turns and then
Yeah.
the cars turn.
Yeah, that was the worst one.
Not the cars. the
I really
things are
liked
in
it, but
cages.
at some point in my life, I realized that like I can't do those things.
Yeah, and like
I can't do spinny rides.
Was that the day you threw up?
Yeah, I'll
You know-
even go to Lagoon and like go on a couple roller coasters and be like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm
Wow.
gonna puke."
So my favorite story, my personal story on the zipper was I remember we got on, and I don't remember who I was with, maybe my little brother, and we were going around, and it's awesome and it's fun, but we heard something rattling around on the ground, and we're like, oh crap, like I dropped something. What's on the ground there? And you're pretty caged in, so stuff doesn't just fall out right away. It'll rattle around and move. So my brother bends over in the middle of the ride and grabs it and picks it up, and it's a bolt. And we're like, we're going to die today. That's it. We're done. And it was probably like 4 to 6 inches, pretty long bolt.
Long
No-
enough to hold the
the
cart
car
that you're
on there.
sitting in.
And I really think that was the last time I ever rode it. It freaked me out big time.
And I bet you got off and like told the guy, "There's a bolt here," and he was like, and like
tossed it.
tossed it behind him.
That's where it went.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we did.
Those carnies are scary.
That's where it went. There's the bolt.
Yeah.
There's the pin for the whole belt.
What I wish is that we knew someone personally that was a carny and that we could have him
Yeah, right?
share his
Oh,
experiences.
that worked in a carnival.
Yeah, that'd be really
That would
weird.
be nice.
Didn't you work in a fair though?
I was not a carny. I was a fairy.
A ferry. That's right.
Well, I guess that's gonna have to do. Jake, why don't you tell us the ins and outs of being a fairy?
Well, we ran an inflatable laser tag arena
Oh,
for a whole month
Not-
in Columbus, Ohio.
I remember this. Yeah.
I just disappeared. You guys didn't know I didn't know I
Yeah.
was going.
I
until
remember I
went.
was pissed. I was like, Jake just left. He didn't tell us anything.
I vaguely remember
We
your.
keep knocking on his door.
I remember it because, I remember because I was talking, I think, to you or someone, and they're just like, I go, well, "Where's Jake?" It's like, "Oh, he's in Ohio."
But we all said he was a carny.
Oh, yeah, I think
We didn't
yeah.
say it, yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like, "Oh, for how long?" They're like, "We don't know." I'm like, "Oh." Okay, bye.
That was the story when you left. Is
It
that
really
you,
was.
you were a carny or you joined the circus and you left? I think your mom had to tell us.
Yeah, probably. I
'Cause
mean,
you
I had
didn't-
no way of communicating with you guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I could call you.
Did you decide last minute?
You didn't
Literally, we went to the dipping vats in Arizona for a family reunion, and my uncle brought his huge laser tag arena, and he was on his way to go from Barstow through Arizona on his way to go to Ohio because he toured, kind of went around the country to different state fairs with this arena, laser tag arena,
Like Aerosmith.
and like Aerosmith, and he was on his way to Ohio and stopped at the family reunion, and he blew up this laser tag arena, and we played as a family and stuff. And he's like, "You want to go with me, Jake?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll go with you to Ohio." And so I went with him, and it was literally like that day I decided to go.
That
My
makes so
parents-
much more sense.
My parents decided to let me go. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd never heard that part of the story because I was always so confused because we saw each other like every day, like for 4 hours a day. So when you were just suddenly gone, we were like, what in the world?
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense. I didn't realize he went straight from
wasn't-
Arizona.
It was not planned at all.
I'm glad that 20 years later we finally clarified this.
yeah, I'm glad we cleared that up because it's been a sore spot.
I think that's
in
why
our
Phil-
relationship.
That's why Phil has gray hair.
It is really like we have been talking about it since then. That was,
Yeah.
let's see, the beginning of ninth grade, I think.
Yeah,
99.
we're like, what happened to
So-
Jake
the story,
that summer?
the story. I remember now the story being like, "Well, Jake just ran off and joined the circus."
Yeah. That's what
and I
we
was like,
That's what we said.
"Sounds
Okay.
okay."
All right.
So we're not going over to his house.
So he can't play.
So
So he's not coming. So he's not here.
So
And I think part of his story too was like, "Well, when is he coming back?" And we're like, "We don't know.
he might
I
not.
don't think anyone knows."
I was half expecting you to come back addicted to meth, missing teeth, like all kinds of fun stuff.
yeah, I got over that by the time I hung out with you guys. And I was back.
Your dentures look great, by the way. All right, moving on to Utah news.
Wait, still
oh.
days. for
What's
me.
your favorite memory?
Sorry, I assumed that you spoke up and
I did,
we
kind
got
of.
your opinion, but
About my experience with being a fairy.
but your specifically your experience with Steel Days and
So
memories.
I always remember going to the carnival.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just something we always did. That was the thing to hang out at the carnival. But probably the Mountain Man or the breakfast, the marching band breakfast.
Yeah.
Albertsons.
Oh,
And then the parade. We'd always watch the parade. And then the car show is like the best car show around.
Yeah,
Huge, massive car show. And then the cruise. The
Yeah.
cars at the show would cruise State Street back and forth.
they do their own little parade thing.
Which apparently they're not doing that this year.
Yeah.
Is that what Trent was saying?
Yeah, well, it's not on the agenda for the
they're
day,
doing the car show.
doing the car show,
They're just not
yeah.
doing the cruise, right?
which is
Oh,
weird,
I think they
'cause
quit
it's
doing
like
that a long time ago.
COVID.
Like, or the burnout they quit doing. Remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
burnout
Yeah.
where they like
Burnout.
burn out?
No. I don't remember. We never did any like the full Still Days activities. We just
Yeah.
went to the carnival.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the car show, like this is the first time in 20 years I'm like, there was a car show?
Oh, I'm
Rotary-
totally
So
going.
the only
Rotary Park.
the only
Super
things I
awesome.
did were the carnival, the car show, and the show, the fireworks show.
Yeah, the fireworks.
And,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
and they'd have a concert before that usually
The big show is called.
with like some like REO Speedwagon or
yeah.
one of those bands that were like one hit wonders in the
did
70s.
Did Imagine Dragons play in it ever? I think like years ago they may have played once.
I don't think so.
I thought they did.
don't think they've ever played a Steel Day show. We should tell them to play.
I think we should just
Call
decide
right
that
now.
that's what happened in history.
Call Daniel,
Call Daniel.
Let's call them.
or also popularly known as Wayne. Mm-hmm. But that's not actually his name he's ever gone by.
Let's call him.
Steel Day's fun. Great. Jeff, your turn.
Thank you. I had my hand in the air. May I go now? All right, go. So Spencer Cox, our Utah state governor, says, you want fireworks this 4th of July? Go to community events, Cox says. He's basically discouraging everybody in the whole state to not do fireworks, but it's not required at this point.
So does that mean anything if a governor says, don't do this?
No, but there's
Suggests stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why I brought that up was because it's exactly the opposite of what they said last year during COVID. And I just found it kind of funny. It's like COVID last year made every neighborhood around me turn into the Stadium of Fire. And they canceled a whole bunch of fireworks shows because they didn't want people all getting together in groups, right? So now it's exactly the opposite. Everyone get together in groups, don't do anything at your house. And I just found that kind of funny.
Are they're not canceling like the big fireworks shows, right?
No, they're all basically online again. And that's what Spencer Cox is saying is don't go to Black Cat
Neighborhood firework shows. Go to the big ones.
Yeah, don't do your own fireworks shows. Go to the big ones because of the drought and everything. Anyway, it's just very interesting. You just wanted to see what you guys' thoughts were this year. I know
By
we're
the way, Utah is in a major drought right now. I think we may have mentioned it last week.
unless you live just south of Zion National Park, then you're
Right.
in a massive flood.
Yeah.
Is there a flood down there?
Oh,
Huge flood.
insane.
dude. It
The
was
streets, businesses,
yeah.
homes,
St. George?
cars.
Yeah.
No, south of Zion.
Pretty much right outside the town.
Isn't
right
that
outside
St. George?
Zion.
No.
It was Spit Creek or
Oh,
whatever.
like
Remember
up the canyon towards Zion's, like
Yeah.
right before you get to Zion's, that
Right.
town.
Yeah, like I can't remember the name of all the towns, but there's
We just stayed there. What was
not
that
Hurricane,
called?
but down on the south end.
not Hurricane.
St.
How did you pronounce that?
George.
Hurricane?
Hurricane.
Okay.
Hurricane by Laverkin?
Hurricane.
Springdale.
Springdale, yeah.
Springdale's getting murdered. Rockville, Grafton, all those areas right outside the canyon there. It's like, 'cause it's crazy there. It's not just like copious amounts of water. It brings a lot of debris with it. When it flash floods in the desert, as we know, but for listeners that don't know, when it flash floods in the desert, it's like it's bringing trees with it and mud and just, all kinds of debris. I've seen rocks rolling down.
There was photos of
riverbeds.
the road just being absolutely destroyed.
It's
And it's all like
it's-
sand
it's-
mud,
yeah.
like red
It's amazing.
southern Utah mud. Yeah.
So just like earthquakes, flash floods are my thing.
Oh gosh.
Like
here we go.
You want to be in a flash. You
We
wanna be
had one
in-
roll right through the middle of our family reunion, camping out in the desert once,
Right.
like 300 people, and it was like a river just kind of
Oh,
first started like to trickle across the desert and just got bigger and bigger until it was like insane, and we were like having a blast. We were jumping in this thing and like it was rolling us across the sand and stuff. Like,
Seems like a problem.
yeah, it might be.
A safety issue.
There's something wrong, but
Well, it's a big thing, and I'm trying to remember what the technical term is, but there's a thing that people do. It's called like a dry river. Like you go to these river beds, and when it rains, like 50 or 100 miles away, the water pushes it down. But what it'll push first is all the debris. Have you ever seen videos of this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
all the sticks and
It's like
stuff.
it's like this creepy, weird earth moving across, earth, and you don't even see the water for another like 30 feet
just
behind the
loaded with
debris.
debris.
And it's pretty amazing. Go check YouTube and find better terms than what we just called it, because I think it has actual geological or terms in it. But there's people that chase those like tornadoes. They
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Like in kayaks or something.
No, on foot.
Oh.
Like
Just
they go to the
catch news
riverbeds.
reports and find where they're at and look at them
Yeah.
I want to be those people.
and see them.
I was
Yeah.
watching just killing time watching the reels on Instagram, like just random videos, and there's flash flood in like Colorado, and two guys were kayaking it.
Yeah. I love it.
It was like this park and everything. They're just like going down. It was pretty funny. But
Well,
Get out your boat.
the year that a lot of us were born, in 1984, there was a giant flood in City Creek. The City Creek City Creek Canyon, right? There's like
Oh,
water
yeah,
that comes
yeah,
down.
yeah.
But it was so bad they actually diverted it down State Street with sandbags and down. So they closed the road, diverted it down State Street into a canal connection, basically because the underwater systems were too overwhelmed and it could not handle it. So they had a river, and I know a guy. He owned a company right on State Street. It's called Alpha Graphics. It'd been there forever. It's closed down now. I think it's Big Deluxe Tattoo in Salt Lake City. But anyways, long story short, he lived above his company, right? And he lived there. He's like, for the first time in my life, he lived there for many, many, many years. It's like I opened my window and I had a river running down in front of my house. But he also said there's a lot of people jumping in canoes and kayaks and stuff and going all the way down State Street. And at that time, it was kind of like, yeah, have your fun. Like, you're not going to harm anybody. Just don't drown, you know? Interesting fact, that was the same year that Utah State put in a huge amount of pumps on the Great Salt Lake to pump the water out of there in case it started flooding. Because once the water goes into the Great Salt Lake, it doesn't go anywhere. It evaporates, right?
Yeah, there are no rivers that go out of it.
So if, in the case that it started flooding, they wanted to be able to get it out, right? So millions of dollars worth of pumps. They've never once had to use them since 1984, which is just kind of an interesting
Probably won't
thing.
use them this year either.
No. Maybe pump the water into people's houses
Yeah.
so they can drink salty
salt water.
Gross.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we've been having some interesting weather phenomenon. Droughts in some areas, floods in others. Then,
And it
Just
rained
even here in
twice
the
this
valley,
week.
it was like 90 degrees, and then it rained, and then it was like 90 degrees all within like 12 hours.
It's crazy. And it rained twice this week, which was awesome.
I'd still like to see it ramped up though. Like, let's get some flooding.
I want to see a tornado
We
down
need the whole
south.
valley destroyed completely.
Like, you remember that windstorm when we were kids that was like crazy, like hurricane winds?
yeah.
Blew over a big, huge pine tree in my front yard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Salt Lake had one of those last September.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did get windy up there, but not
Knocked
like,
over a ton of trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was like, I want to say like 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
I remember going
Like-
outside in my backyard with a blanket.
And jumping off the trampoline.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
Batman. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
fine.
Yeah, I was like, I'm Batman. And then,
Yeah.
where were the other drugs going?
and then my mom was like, get inside.
That's exactly what he said, Jake. He
Where are
grabbed
the other drugs going?
That's what Batman says. The guy on the hanging upside down.
That's exactly what happened. Tyler grabbed a blanket and his rollerblades.
That's what Tyler was
Disgusting.
run around the yard. Drugs, where are they going? Rachel.
Oh, no. It blew over our tramp, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It blew our tramp
And
over.
I loved it. Let's get some more of that up in here. What kind of
You need to move
global warming do we need to cause?
you need to move to Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
You'd be happy there.
I really would. I'd love it.
Yep.
I
That's
love
good.
the destruction. I love rebuilding my house.
That's great. So, okay. So, next up on the national news, I've got, there's this building, which is so funny. I just got this, a redirect notice. That was weird. This was interesting just because like national news, I like finding more obscure things that probably not a lot of people are talking about.
Did you find more animals that died randomly?
Don't ruin my next story, please.
For real?
Just shut up.
Someone saved a puppy.
So this is a national news, and it says batteries exploding in burning abandoned Illinois building. So basically, I'll give you the short story about this. It's crazy. You guys tell me what you think. Everybody in the city thought that this whole building was abandoned, and it turns out they were still storing batteries there, anywhere from like very small batteries to like full-size car batteries, like in this building. Lithium, which is a problem because lithium batteries are like super toxic. I guess what happens is when they get heated up and they get sprayed with water, they will explode, like full-on bomb explode, especially like the big car batteries. So I'm trying to find this part of the section where it says how many batteries they're anticipating there.
And who was hoarding these batteries?
Well, apparently someone legitimately was using the building. It's just they didn't have a business license or anything like that. So it was nearly 100 tons of lithium batteries were in this building.
Wow.
So the crazy thing is, as a result, all they did was just evacuate everyone around and they just let this thing burn to the ground. And the mayor came out and said, if you're experiencing breathing problems, go to your doctor.
for longer than 4 hours.
And now they're erecting like a dome to roll over it, like at Chernobyl.
Oh yeah, like it,
contain
not
everything.
Chernobyl, but The Simpsons. Let's get some real facts here.
Right.
The Simpsons
From
put
a
the dome on
documentary.
it. Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
documentary, The Simpsons, the movie.
Oh yeah, the documentary, The Simpsons.
I haven't seen
the
Simpsons
movie.
in a long time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's
It's
on.
so good.
It's on Disney,
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
Yeah.
You should watch the first like 15 seasons because after that, I just
The first 15
goes
seasons.
down.
Yeah. But I think that Elon Musk is secretly storing batteries in Illinois.
I was going to say, did
illegally.
Elon Musk work there?
It's a gigafactory
was
that we didn't
spotted.
know about.
The Elon Musk spotting.
Random
Abandoned
Elon
building.
Musk thing. Have you watched Iron Man lately? I think it was the original Iron Man, or maybe it was Iron Man 2. Elon Musk is in it, like
Oh.
as Elon Musk.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like in a party scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He's like, hey, what's up? I was like, Elon Musk was a thing in like 40 years ago when that movie came out.
yeah, in 09.
Yeah.
Well, he was big for PayPal, I think, at that point.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I think. Don't know. Anyway, so if your house catches on fire, just let it burn down because there's too many batteries in here.
That's actual advice. Legal advice.
That's legal
Just let it
advice
burn down.
from-
Don't call the
Just let it burn.
fire department.
From Dr. Draper, the
Battery
lawyer.
doctor.
So no animal story.
So on to my world news. Bangladesh elephants.
struck by lightning.
This is no, not this
by
time.
Batman.
But this is just the most weird and obscure story, and here's one of the reasons why I like this story, because we went to Yellowstone obviously and saw no big animals. But what happens when people do see big animals? So Bangladesh elephants rescued after fleeing into the Bay of Bengal. Basically what happened was and it's not a cool story, just like the other dying elephant stories that I've brought up, but there's so many refugees from Myanmar. Is that how you say Myanmar?
Myanmar.
Yeah, it used to be called something else. Now it's called Myanmar. There's so many refugees that have come into Bangladesh. They've set up like a camp that's in like the normal routes for the elephants, and they basically scared these elephants into the Bay of Bengal in Bangladesh. Oops. The elephants even went out to sea, like trying to get away from people because they were scaring them away. And
No way.
Yeah.
And they drowned.
two of them, no, they didn't drown. But I know I'm bringing the story up, so it must be sick and messed up. But this is not quite as messed up as that. But fishermen and some other people brought them back, and they actually ended up getting them to a safe area. But the whole reason why they ended up at the sea was because people kept constantly scaring them away from like getting them out of their areas until they had nowhere to go. So anyway, so if we were to come across a bear, I think it would have ended up at the Atlantic Ocean. That's how far we would have scared it away.
We scared away every bear in Yellowstone. I think we were so loud.
Yeah.
We're loud people.
We are loud.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm glad you didn't see a bear.
I wanted to.
I know you
A
wanted
lot.
to, but I'm glad you didn't.
Did see bear tracks.
It'd be cool. We heard a bear roar, like
Really?
a Tyrannosaurus roar. Like we're all sitting around the fire.
Did it sound close?
It's the
It was like really
like it was
loud,
probably a
like
few
a
hundred
mile
yards
away.
away.
Oh.
this
It
is
was loud. It was like an angry roar, which we later thought maybe it was a motorcycle because we were about 3 miles from the road.
Oh.
So it could have been like really loud motorcycle.
It would be really loud though.
Really
yeah,
loud.
We're sticking with T-Rex.
That's
Yep.
fair.
Yeah, because that makes more sense.
Yeah.
it's the first time I ever saw Trent poop himself. He pulled his gun out, put one in the chamber, and I'm like, oh my god.
Did he really?
Yeah. That was a
Oh
real
yeah,
story.
he did, didn't he? He like loaded up.
Oh, Trent is the biggest wuss I know. That's all
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying.
he does. He puts gloves on when he goes fishing to handle the fish.
Does he really?
Yeah,
He brings rubber dish gloves.
Yeah, like
No,
dishwashing
really?
gloves. He's like, I'm not touching that thing.
It's slimy.
That's hilarious.
Trent sounds like that.
That's exactly what he sounds like. But it was enough for everybody because you're pretty exposed out there. I mean, even though you're in a tent, like she ain't that thick, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And like a lot of the guys sleeping in hammocks that these guys put up a bear perimeter, which when the bear hit the perimeter, it basically played disco music. Was that right?
Oh yeah, we like set up a little alarm Only on the third night after the freaking roar.
Yeah.
We were okay up to that point, and then we were like, that sounds like an angry, stalking giant animal that doesn't care.
Bears are scary.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you didn't see one.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be fun to see one?
No.
Have
I've
the
seen
hair
plenty. And it's
raised on
still
the back
scary.
of your neck a little bit.
Even when you're a car, like I remember one time we were driving up Blue Mountain, the mountain down near Blanding, and we were going up the road, and then 3 cubs walked out, and then a bear, the mom bear, walked out, and it was probably a good 20 feet away. We were inside of our car, and
Yeah.
it stopped and like looked at us, and I was like, "Go away!"
Your stomach sank.
Please
I was like,
stop looking at me.
and then it ran off. But they're scary. They're really scary.
Yeah, I got a little scared. We pulled up to a buffalo that was like right outside the window and was like leaning out taking a picture, and it just like turned and looked right like 3 feet away, and like
Holy Spirit.
yeah, oh yeah, the Holy Spirit. So,
Oh wow.
Showing
just got a
I'm
picture.
showing him pictures of it.
but I stopped so he could take a picture, but like I couldn't stay there because I was like, at any second this thing's gonna just like ram through the door and kill the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So we kept going.
That's what buffalo are known for. Is you ram the minivan and you reach in with your fangs and you go straight for the neck of the Holy Spirit and pull it out and take it back to the pack. Right? Is that what they do?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah, I
worried
think
about.
that's exactly what we were all thinking
Buffaloes
was gonna
aren't
happen.
aggressive, are they?
No, they're
They can be.
They're grazers. They can be aggressive if they're being
But they're like
protective or
kind of like
territorial.
cows.
But yeah, they
yeah,
just
but they're worse than cows.
meander around and graze.
Cows are like, they'll run at you and you'll be like, blah, 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 and they'll just like run in the other direction.
Not this one cow. We were 4-wheeling down in New Mexico at my grandma's house, and they have like just cattle kind of
Yeah.
roaming around. So we're on a 4-wheeler, and we were going. It was me and my cousin, and this cow comes up to us, just literally starts walking up to us, and then we just moved away, and then it started like charging us. So then we like took off. I was like, "What did we just do?" But anyways, that was scary.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're not really predators. They get protective of things, but they're not like going to attack because they're not.
I hear cows
Predators.
are like just big dogs. Like,
No, cows are like big chickens because they're so dumb. Like if you know how dumb a chicken is, cows are just like you'll look in their eyes and you're like, there is nothing in there. Those might as well be marbles in a bowling ball
Yeah.
because there's nothing going on in there.
Isn't that interesting that you can actually tell from eyes? Like you look at a dog and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you got some consciousness there. You're aware of what's going on. You look into the eyes of the cow and you're like, I don't think those are even eyes.
Yeah.
They're just
You said marbles in a
Marbles in a bowling ball.
marbles in a bowling ball carrying wagyu.
Yeah. Wagyu beef
and a lot of grass.
to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
we
four
made
stomachs.
those creatures, didn't we?
Pretty much.
They're
yeah.
our own creation, and they're so stupid and fat that they're good for nothing else but eating. Right, Beagle?
Speaking of stupid, fat, and nothing good for anything but eating, I'm going to bring up our main topic for the night,
Oh.
which is the United States of America.
Oh.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant. No, I did mean it. So,
Yep, that's what I meant.
if one country is going to move towards Wall-E, where everyone goes around in those scooters and drinks all. Did you ever see that movie?
Wally.
Yeah, that society where people don't really do anything. They don't even walk or anything.
People are so fat.
when we abandon Earth because we junked it,
Yeah.
and we're in a spaceship,
Yeah.
That
What I'm saying
sounds
is
like us.
that stems from the United States.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is getting off to a really good start because I had some questions that I was just going to bring up and we can discuss things about America. But what do you think that it's interesting because we've grown up in a non-internet world and now we have the internet. And I think there's certain ideas and certain concepts, but what do you think that we can do in the United States of America easily that almost nobody else can do in the planet? Like what can we do here that's so unique and special?
I would say
Carry guns.
guns
That's
and speech are probably two big ones.
I think guns is definitely
I think
a big one.
there are other countries that have as much
Vote.
speech,
Wait.
free speech.
It's not just a list, Jake. We
Walk.
got to talk about them.
Walk.
Oh, I thought it was like a quiz.
No. A, B, C, or D. No, but like guns, I think that's totally valid. I don't know what other countries are nearing the United States of guns. If that's your thing, that I don't think many other countries can do that.
Podcasts.
Oh, God, Jake, calm down. They're all right, by the way.
Yeah.
I win.
And what in speech?
Yeah, I think a lot of countries have free speech. Maybe in Europe. I don't know, though. It seems like we can be more critical of our government than other places without receiving repercussion.
Yeah. I'm of the reality. I was told this one time from a guy who traveled all over the world, and he spent time in each place where he went. He's actually from Germany, but he was in America when I met him, obviously. And he told me, he's like, listen, America could be the second or third or fourth world power, and it would completely be fine. Like the other countries that are like world power wise down from like the top 5, let's say, he's like, they're all great places. They're safe. There's tons of freedoms there. There's tons, you know what I mean? They're all different, obviously, but he basically, his point was, worst case scenario, if America got knocked down and someone else was above, it would be fine. And I thought that was an interesting concept, and it's not really talked about a lot, especially during the 4th of July when it's just hoorah, you know? But what other countries are there even near America? Like England or English countries, we were saying.
Well,
Near
near in what
Canada
factor?
and Mexico
like
are right near it.
Money, military,
Power.
people, power. What do you mean?
In any way, in freedoms, I guess is
comparable?
the main thing I'm thinking about. Freedoms, economy. If military is one of your
South
things,
Korea.
well, you have some experience there.
Yeah, that's why I say it, because I know that South Korea is pretty free.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think guns are as celebrated there as in America. Or
Can you own guns there?
I don't even know.
South Korea?
did you ever see a gun when you were there? You were there for 2 years.
No,
Wow.
I did on like military bases.
Yeah, missionaries aren't allowed to handle guns, so
Jake sent me an airsoft gun from South Korea.
They got some pretty cool airsoft guns there, and they look like real guns, and they
They
don't have
did.
orange tips on them.
Yep, and it was a little sketchy when I opened it
You're like, oh,
because I couldn't read any of the packaging, and I opened it. I'm like, this.
There's a weapon in this. There's a service weapon.
There is a service weapon and a handgun.
So South Korea apparently all gun owners let's see. Private guns for hunting or target practice must be stored and registered at local police stations.
Ooh, that's interesting.
stored at the police stations, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this Googlepedia thing says.
Googlepedia.
But who knows?
Apparently, according to Google, only 3 countries in the world currently have constitutional right to own a gun.
Okay.
U.S., Mexico, and Guatemala.
Oh,
Wow. That's actually kind of shocking to me. So there you go with the Mexico.
which makes my case why we should just absorb Mexico into 5 additional states.
Even stronger.
Yeah.
6 other countries used to have a constitutional right to bear arms, but they have since repealed those laws.
What countries are those? Do you know?
I don't ask questions like that, Jeff.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I could find out.
But there's 6 of them.
Do you think we'll repeal those laws?
I think we got a long way to go.
Right to bear arms?
Nope.
Do you think the next civil war will be over arms?
No.
What will the next civil war?
Be over. Global warming.
Tornadoes in Provo?
Provo tornadoes.
I wonder if it wouldn't be over just like as something as simple as a financial thing. You know?
Like
Yeah.
what?
Some people want to spend a lot of money and other people don't. I know that's why civil war happens at my house.
Oh,
That's just a disagreement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know those other 6 countries if you want
I do.
to know.
oh.
So
Tell us.
the United States Second Amendment inspired other countries around the world to provide their citizens with the right to own guns, including Bolivia, Costa Rica, Colombia, Honduras, Nicaragua, Liberia, Guatemala, Mexico, and the U.S. Only the last 3 currently have constitutional right to bear arms.
Which
the
is-
other 6 rescinded those.
Most of those are in South America, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Like no one else has taken up a right to bear arms. Nowhere in Europe, nowhere in Asia.
I think there's a lot of older established rules from those places, though.
Yeah, I guess so. Interesting.
I have a fly on my.
I don't really care.
You don't care?
Have a gun. Don't have a gun. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they came out tomorrow and said it's illegal to own a gun, turn in your guns, what would happen?
Civil war.
You think so?
Yeah, I think a civil. Yeah, absolutely. If they tried to enforce it, then yes, there would be a civil war.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I have guns, but in theory, if I did, you know, if they said that and the police knocked on my door and said, I'm taking your guns, I don't know. I'd probably give them over, but
If
But
they,
you don't
if they
have 'em,
changed the
so-
law to where you couldn't,
to where,
and
yeah,
then the
like,
police came and said, "You give us your guns,"
yeah,
then they would have a constitutional right to say that. So that, but a lot
yeah,
of
if
people
they
wouldn't.
amended the Constitution to say you can no longer keep
It's
and
no
bear
longer
arms.
a right.
Yeah,
Hand
yeah,
over your
you'd see
guns.
millions of people on the streets protesting, and it would turn violent.
you think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it could. I guess they did it in Canada, and everyone just kind of like, okay, here you go.
They did it in Australia too.
Oh, that's what I meant. Australia.
Yeah. Yep. And they gave up most of their firearms. And my conclusion was what happened because they actually turned it back the other way, and you can now have guns again, from what I understand. But what was happening while all the good guys couldn't have guns was that all the bad guys still had guns. And so you go rob a place and you knew that the teller wasn't going to have a gun, or you can break into a house and you know no one's going to have a gun because they're law-abiding citizens. But you have a gun. Surprise, mother. Right?
We talked a lot about guns again.
I know. We always do. And it's so weird because none of us own them.
Right.
know.
None of us like or ever use guns.
So odd that we bring it up all the time.
Right.
Okay.
Crazy.
We're not allowed to call them guns, guys. They're service weapons.
They're service weapons. No, that's only if you're a police officer. That's great. Okay, well, here's another question, Jake. I'll start with you. Do you feel like America is less respected now amongst Americans or more?
Amongst Americans?
And when I ask this question, my main reason for asking it is not like I feel like it or I read this thing, but like your actual observation, like from things you've seen around and what you've seen yourself and why you feel that way.
So I can't say I think.
No, you can say whatever you want. What I'm
So-
saying is that there's definitely a narrative out there that things are disrespected more. Like the big story right now is the Olympian that turned their back on the what's it called?
Flag.
The flag and the national anthem. Yeah. And, people taking a knee and all that stuff. And it has a lot of different meanings and whatnot. But like, it's just an interesting thing because I've never personally experienced those things
Yeah.
other than on social media and on the news,
Yeah,
right?
I think it depends a lot on where you live. When you live in Utah County in the United States, you see a lot more consistently freedom-loving America, red, white, and blue people than in a lot of other places. You hear on the news of all these, people who support. They want socialism and they want more government control, but where we live, you don't really see a whole lot of that.
Right.
So what I experience is different than what I'm hearing from all of the right wing pundits who are saying, we're losing all of our freedoms.
Right. And you feel like that's because of where you live, that you're kind of in a bubble.
I think mostly it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I think in general people are cool, unlike America.
Yeah.
Like we used to live in Boston, and if you ever go to Boston during the 4th, I highly recommend it. Mm-hmm. And you'll go
You'll see Neil
downtown.
Diamond.
You'll go downtown to hear. So the admiral of the Navy was the one that did it this time, but I think each time it's either him or like another general of like one of the armed forces comes and like steps out on the balcony of this church or courthouse or whatever and reads the Declaration of Independence just like it was read originally, like to the people of Boston for the first time.
Wow.
And it was like a almost spiritual experience. It was really cool. But there's just so many people there from all walks of life and just like really in tune with this, like really quiet, a huge square, just like packed with a couple thousand people. It was a blast, but I think we have a good country and people in general like to live here.
So at least
like,
a couple thousand people like
Yeah,
America.
in, in Boston, several million.
exactly.
So 1/365th of Boston.
People are still coming here legally and illegally. So there is something to it, right?
Right.
Still that is attracting people.
The American dream.
White picket fence.
Yeah.
What, 2.5 kids? White picket fence?
Yeah.
And a 401k.
Some are born without limbs.
I will say, from my perspective, as I've grown older, 4th of July doesn't really mean a whole lot to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're celebrating being a Native American and connecting with that is just like cool.
Yeah.
Good celebration for you white people.
Yeah. We're so white.
And I don't mean that like in a bad way. I'm just saying like, my perspective has been a bit different in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's just been directly influenced by just knowing my culture and knowing where we came from and that type of thing. So,
Is there-
4th of July really doesn't mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
I get a day off from work. So
On the 5th.
That's nice.
So that's something. Well, here's a question. You said in the last few years, was there like a pivotal point for you when it was like it turned into meh instead of like,
I think just
America
it's
to
probably my early 20s. I took a Native American history class at Utah Valley, and and then you get involved with like different people, especially in LA. A lot of us, I was involved with a lot of minority right people, and so
were there a lot of, sorry to interrupt, but were there a lot of Native Americans in LA?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, a lot of where I was living, there was a lot of Armenians.
Yeah.
Our company at the time, was very diverse. It still is very diverse.
Tons of Armenians there,
Yeah,
huh?
tons of Armenians
What's
there
the city
in Burbank.
that they basically, it's almost
Glendale.
like Glendale.
Yeah.
That's right. It's like
So our-
90% Armenian.
Yeah, our company is based in Glendale. That's the headquarters.
And they're good. They're good people. I didn't know
And I think
much.
living in LA really opened up my eyes to how differently the world is and how differently America
Yeah.
is, seeing it through other minority lenses.
Right.
And that's kind of, so now the 4th of July is like, meh. And I
Yeah.
kind of jumped on the whole fuck Columbus Day
Yeah.
kind of thing, which is now Indigenous Day.
Yeah.
Indigenous
Indigenous
Day.
people.
Yeah.
Since 1992.
Yeah. But apparently the calendar companies just caught up with it. Took them 20 years, 40 years.
So,
So you don't think Independence Day has any significance for
now
you or Native Americans in general?
He did say he gets a day off work.
Oh,
that's true. Yeah.
So there's some significance.
I think the significance part of it is just I get to spend time with my family, and Blanding's 4th of July is actually really cool.
Oh,
like,
is
just
it?
like with the community and everything. It's like it's a high school reunion every year.
Oh, that's cool.
Everyone that we went to high school is there. So, but that's about it.
There's something I do miss about like I feel like American Fork was this way when we were there, but like the small town celebration, like Blanding, I'm sure is like, do they do like any community things or?
Yeah, no, it's kind of the same thing. They don't have a carnival or anything like that, but they'll have like activities during the day. There's
Right.
a volleyball tournament. There's a flag football tournament.
Yeah.
There's a boxing tournament. Like we're talking elementary school, middle kids get dressed up in like with
That's awesome.
mitts and everything, and they punch each other.
My favorite is the 4th grader welterweight.
I took my friend Kyle with me one time, and we went to the boxing tournament, and he's just like, "What am I watching?" Because legit, like 10-year-olds just with
Swinging their
boxing,
arms.
just like, yeah. So that I think they stopped doing that actually. But anyways, it was it's a good time.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm going to be spending 4th of July in Vernal, Utah. Ooh. I don't know how I ended up there, but it's definitely going to be some small town celebration
small
going
town
on
celebrations are nice. Honestly, the population in Blanding doubles. It goes from like 3,000 people to like 5,000 people because everyone comes home. It's
Yeah.
a reunion. It's so busy. But that's where I'll be this weekend.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
You going to Vernal?
Yeah.
Or
No, I don't know how I ended up there. I was
did you
trying to.
just spin a globe and you're like,
I was like, thank God it's in this
globe of
country, and in this
not
state.
in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean?
No, I was telling Phil the way I ended up there is not that long ago, like a week or two ago, and you guys know since COVID, like finding any camping spots for family camping with like
for
running
camping,
water, it's a nightmare. It's impossible. So I was looking specifically for somewhere that had high altitude so that the temperatures weren't too crazy. And then I'm like, oh great, do I want to go high altitude because the mosquitoes are going to be insane, and I got kids there, and oh, what a joke.
So you legit were like, there's no other reason other than you just wanted to get out of Salt Lake.
Basically, and then I was like, you know what? If I found a KOA, we stayed at a KOA one night, and I was like, you know what? I could take my kids to something like this because if they hated it, they could. There's a pool at a lot of them, or there's a playground or whatever. So I looked around on KOAs and I couldn't find any, and then I found one in Vernal,
Any that were
Dinosaur Land.
available?
Dude, this is like not camping at all. They have an outdoor kitchen. They've got. Anyways, they've got a mini golf course. They've got a pool. It's all on this KOA. So we're going to go and quote unquote camp for the weekend. But we'll go to the parade and watch the fireworks and stuff while we're there. I think it'll be a good time. But anyways, we're on the 4th of July, not Vernal, Utah.
Yeah, it is the 4th of July. If you're listening to this, it's 3 days after the
that's
4th
right.
of July.
Has been 4th of July.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but hopefully it was a good one.
it is. It was. Oh, Vernal was amazing.
Should we
Oh,
talk?
yeah. I'll
Should we
tell you all
talk
about
like it was 4th of July?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So let me tell you that
Go
story
forward
again.
in time.
Let me tell you that
July
again.
was
So yeah, it was really fun. We went swimming. We played mini golf.
Your kids loved it.
Yep.
They love the KOA.
I didn't shoot any fireworks this year.
Yeah, you're not doing that, are you? Or you didn't do that, did you?
Yeah,
It didn't happen.
last year I almost blew up a whole city block. So
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
I did.
See, I don't get the allure of fireworks.
Oh my gosh, they're the best.
I really don't care.
They're almost
watched
as good
Phil's.
as natural disasters.
Never watched Phil's.
I mean, they're
Almost as
cool.
good.
Don't get me wrong, but like when we were kids, we did the fireworks in the street thing.
Yeah.
But as we just kind of grew up, we just stopped doing that.
I think the main thing is Phil hasn't grown up yet. So
That's mostly correct.
But you guys have kids, so I think that's understandable.
No, I think if you came to my fireworks show, you would understand. When you sit like 20 feet away from like fireworks that are way too big to shoot off in a
I will say-
residential,
and exploding on the street.
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah.
of
and
100
blowing
feet
up the buckets they're in.
So Phil pours concrete in buckets and put tubes in them, right? So that he could launch the fireworks.
I don't do that.
I mean, he saw
Somebody-
someone on
He knew
Etsy.
someone who did and thought
Somebody
and he thought,
put
that was a good
buckets
idea.
out there.
I mean,
Somehow,
they're cool. Don't get me wrong. I would never go out of my way to like buy fireworks.
Phil drives how
So
many
you wanna drive
hours?
to Wyoming and spend $1,000?
Do they sell fireworks on the Navajo Res?
Yeah, I do.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
Like good ones?
I think the Black Cat tents go up, or is that what they're the cat?
Black Cat's one
Black
of them,
Cat,
yeah.
But
yeah.
did they? Is it
TNT,
on the
Black Cat.
reservation though?
Like all year, I mean? Or do they only do it?
That's a good question. Actually,
Because I buy them at the Moapa reservation down in, I mean, wait a minute. I don't do that. Cut.
I like 3 years ago. I was on a work trip and I actually flew back to LA on the 4th of July. So we were flying in, going over LA, and it was super cool because you just see all these little fireworks just
From the
going
sky,
across,
yeah.
from the
It's
sky.
cool.
It was way cool. And then you could see Disneyland's fireworks down. But yeah,
Did they do something special? Because they always do a cool fireworks show
I think so.
It's not
Disneyland?
the-
I've never been to it.
Disneyland?
I really
on the 4th.
Oh,
yeah
probably.
I try to avoid Disneyland on holidays because it's always so busy.
Yeah,
But I mean, they've always got amazing shows every night.
yeah.
We're actually starting them again. I think in
Phantasmic and
Middle of July.
The one at California Adventures.
Yeah.
Not as cool as Phantasmic. But
Phantasmagora.
If you're looking for a good time in Utah County, hike Temp on the 4th of July and watch fireworks. That's pretty fun.
Yeah,
You can
and
see
you'll.
right down into the Stadium of Fire.
The best part is no one else does it too. So when you get up there, you'll be basically alone, right?
Yeah. And I don't care if you people do it because I've got little kids now. I can't get up there. So go get it out of your system. And by the time I go again, there won't be any people.
In like
In
18
the world.
years.
See, we say that, but they're probably like going to be 60 people up on top of there.
Yeah,
'Cause
there's a
this-
lot.
This
Just
valley's-
because they listen to our show.
yeah,
Because
Well,
we get 100 downloads a week, so
yeah, but not just that. It's like
2/3 of them are going to go up.
before when you were like, oh, there's nobody there ever. I go there all the time. Now you go to those places and it's packed.
Yep.
You go to Wild Lakes up in the middle of nowhere in the Uintas, and it's packed. Like you're parking 2 miles from the parking lot on the road just
Yeah.
to hike to the lake.
This is why I loved the idea of getting permits, because then there's not going to be a whole bunch of other people there.
Oh, yeah.
Like I told one of my clients, I was like, yeah, we went backpacking in Yellowstone and it was crazy. We didn't see anyone for 2 days. And he's like, that is weird in Yellowstone. He's
Yeah.
like, I go pretty much every year at the end of the season. And it's insane how many people are up there. But if you didn't see anyone for 2 days in Yellowstone, that's pretty impressive. So
I'm just so used to it. I mean, living in LA, everything was packed. Anytime
Yeah.
you go anywhere, there was never a dead zone. Well, Disneyland sometimes when it rains, but other than that, I expect it. Like I expect places to be packed.
my favorite Disneyland day ever was when it was raining. It was awesome.
Tyler is our Disneyland resident expert.
Yep, I've been there. How many times did I say? It was like 561 times over
Are
the
you
course
serious?
of like 4 years.
Wow.
When he walks in, Mickey's like, yo, bro, what's up?
Yeah. Oh, you're back.
Sup? Here's some fast passes. I don't know how that works, but
It
seems like
Disneyland, right?
it seems like something Mickey would say.
Goofy says, hey.
I haven't been since high school.
Jesus.
Wow,
What's your
kind of scared me.
who's your favorite character, genuinely?
Of like the Mickey,
All of
clan?
them. Even the
Oh.
Pixar stuff and everything. I know you've thought about it. Don't pretend.
I want to say Sorcerer Mickey
Oh, that's pretty dope. From
from
Fantastic
Fantasmic
Fantasia?
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
In fact, my brother just gave me one of those Funko Pops.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorcerer Mickey doing this.
Yeah.
So, but no, Fantasmic is like by far my favorite show.
I have
like,
tried
ever.
I have tried to
Fantasia?
watch Fantasia.
Fantasmic.
Well, the show's called Fantasmic at Disneyland, but it's a lot of
Oh.
it's based off of the Fantasia movie, and it has the Fantasia Mickey in it.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
interesting.
don't go to
Conducting
Disneyland.
fireworks.
Is that where the old Michael Jackson thing was?
No, that's by Space Mountain. It's now like a Star Wars recap of the whole movies section.
I love Star Trek so much.
Star Trek, Star Wars.
Stop it. They have
Anyways.
an Avengers University or
An Avengers campus.
campus.
From what I understand, it takes 4 hours to get into it because people have lined up to see it.
Yeah.
What a racket, I think.
Yep.
I think all of Disneyland is a racket. It's like if you look at the park, you've got like these rides that are operating on like a small amusement park level of people. They're sending down like 5 people at a time, and then there's just lines everywhere. The whole park is full of money with very little money like actually operating or doing anything. Like
They're on top of their game. So the Thunder Mountain, funny story, Thunder Mountain Railroad broke midway through, and we sat there for like 20 minutes. And they finally, like, this cast member popped up behind a rock and was like, we have to evacuate you guys. And so we got off it, went underneath the whole roller coaster thing. And a couple of my friends were like recording. And they're like, excuse me, please don't record. And then they let us off and gave us free fast passes. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
wow.
And riding Space Mountain in when it's lit up instead of in the dark is cool too, because you're like,
I've seen pictures of it. It looks way weird.
it's
Why is it lit up?
so Space Mountain, right, is like a dark ride.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I know that one.
Sometimes I don't know, for whatever reason, halfway through it lit up, and it was just like all these crazy bars and stuff like that. Like you literally are just like, how on
People
earth did they
sitting
make
around
this?
drinking inside there in the dark.
Guys like
This is jacked up.
toasting and
No, I did hear in the middle of the
Gaston
mountain
down
they
there.
have a basketball court.
Yeah,
Have you heard about that?
yeah. They had to have it because in order for a structure to be that high, it has to be considered some sort of
my gosh.
entertainment venue.
So it's a sports arena.
So it has to be like some sort of sports
so they
arena.
just
Yeah.
put a basketball hoop in there,
Yep.
There's government thinking for you right there.
right?
Yep. Oh, it has a basketball hoop. Yep.
Yeah, it's better now.
Permit approved.
Sweet. You can't use it, but
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, is that how people get to the top seating? Is through a roller coaster? Sounds good.
Yeah, if you ever need that ride, Jack's up my back.
Oh,
every
it's
time.
rough.
It's like
Oh, I love Space Mountain.
It's like the white roller coaster at Lagoon. It's like, no,
right.
thank you.
It's not white anymore though. They redid it.
Yeah.
It's all newer. like oak colored wood.
Oh, good.
Isn't
actually.
it like the only wood roller coaster?
It's one of the
left?
last
I
ones?
think it's the oldest one still in use.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
That's half the. It's like the zipper with the bolt I found. That's half the reason I like the white roller coasters, because you're like, I'm dead.
I'm risking it.
I'm dead.
That's where you go when you don't have much to live for.
Yeah,
Lagoon has some legit rides now, though.
I've
That
heard.
Cannibal or whatever.
Cannibal and
Yeah.
and Wicked. We went to Lagoon last week, and we went on the Rattlesnake Rapids,
Oh,
and
that's
the
the
line was
best.
like way long, as it always is. But they had little markings, every 9 feet for you to social distance, but no one was. So it was like you're just right next to the person in front of you. But as you're walking by the ride, there's a raft that goes down with people on it, and then an empty raft, then people on it,
Oh my gosh.
then an empty
No
raft.
way,
So
really?
they were socially distancing the rafts, but the people in the line were, 7 inches from each other.
Did they still have the thing where you can? I think you used to pay money. You put money in the thing and you can shoot water
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
people.
they still have those
Oh,
little-
that is the greatest idea
It's
ever.
like shoot your friends or whatever. Yeah.
or your enemies.
Oh my gosh, they
Random
socially
question.
distanced.
We're
the
in this
ride.
huge drought, but like all the water parks are open. Like I don't get that.
You know what's really funny is that this was a topic I was going to bring up because,
Tonight?
yeah, it really was. And then I was like, no, America's way better. But I want to talk about it for 1 second.
Well, it'd
Yeah.
be interesting to know how much water a water park uses.
Well, I mean, I'm
because they recycle that. Like they're not just pumping fresh water out on the slide, right? They're just pulling it back from the pool.
true, but it's just I don't know. Oh my gosh!
Tyler's going to die.
Yeah.
Don't die.
I know, like all the splash pads are open, and
Yeah.
it's weird to me that
So-
we're in this major drought. But
So this is actually what I wanted to bring up with it, is because so there's this idea that the fireworks, like you don't do your own thing on the fireworks and you go to the big things because they're going to be more controlled and whatever, right? So we went to a splash pad on Saturday. It was my son's birthday at Wardle, which I know is a weird name, but it's in Bluffdale and it is huge. It's a huge water park, splash pad. It's all free, but it's huge. It's like, I don't know, probably the size of a football field, right? And they don't have tons and tons and tons of water features, but it's the biggest one I've ever been to. And I'm there and I'm looking around at all these people, and there's probably a good several hundred people there, right? Playing around, hanging out. They got their beach stuff set up. The kids are all playing in the water. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? They should be like Cox is encouraging people to go to the big fireworks shows. They should be encouraging people to not do things at home, like fill up the kiddie pools and run the sprinklers and all that, and encouraging them to go to the splash pads, because for all those people to be at home with their, let's say 300 households running the sprinklers or playing in the water with the kids at home, guaranteed would use way more water than the splash pad did. And so I think splash pads are a little bit better, but water parks, I have no idea. I can tell you that there's not even very many water parks you can go to these days.
Yeah.
How much water does a woodchuck?
Chuck, if a woodchuck could water
Could duck go.
water.
I really think the only water park left is like Cowabunga Bay and Draper, and then Seven Peaks and Provo.
it's not Seven Peaks anymore. It's like
8 Peaks,
really?
Wasatch Splash.
6 Peaks.
So here's
They lost a peak.
So here's an interesting thing. In comparison of leisure venues, golf courses in the United States consume an average of 300,000 to 500,000 gallons of water per day. Similarly, a 100,000 square foot water park resort might use an average of 125 to 160,000 gallons. So about half of what a golf course
Wow.
consumes.
Which makes sense because they're watering the grass
Yeah.
constantly.
So Seven Peaks, after 30 years, is no more. But
6 Peaks.
They were under new ownership and now called Splash Summit Water Park.
Yep.
Which is right down the road from us here.
Yeah. Maybe. We don't know where we are.
We're in the BYU Creamery in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Can you pass me the Irish cream, please?
But yeah, so 125,000 gallons is a lot of water, but it's not like as much as a golf course, apparently. So let's get rid of golf courses.
Yep.
I think we should get rid of front yards, to be honest. What
Yeah.
a waste.
I think we
Nobody
should,
sits out on their porch anymore and like looks at their lawn.
and even if they did, like let's just hardscape it. Make it look
Yeah.
Zero
No,
Scape's awesome.
We learned from Beagle. We need to get rid of meat eatingness.
I like the front yards that are just like pine trees, so you can't even see the house. It's shade the house, which will keep it cooler in the summer,
Yeah, that's what burglars like too.
and you don't have to water it. Yeah.
We should normalize using turf too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That plastic stuff that's really good for the environment.
I've seen that done very well, actually. Yeah. A lot of times you see it and you're like, wow, that looks tacky. But I've seen it done correctly and it's very flat and they have nice long blades of plastic. And each blade says, I was a water bottle.
I was a single water bottle.
Yeah. That's right. But
Well,
I agree.
America's awesome.
It is awesome.
America's a good place.
Where you can have asshole turf in your front yard.
Yeah.
If you want.
And if you don't want, then you don't have to.
And you can go buy gunpowder at the store if you want, or a steak.
Or on the reservation or
Yeah.
in Wyoming. And
You can buy so much food for practically nothing and just throw it out on your front lawn and waste it.
That's right.
I did that.
Did you?
Yeah. I went to Costco, bought a bunch of food, and then now I use a meal delivery service. Mm-hmm. And all that food went to waste.
which one do you use?
1% Fitness. So they actually send me meals and I just warm
you
it
shared
up.
that.
They deliver every day,
Once a week.
once a week.
Don't you think, honestly, they could warm it up for you? Send someone over 3 times a day.
Wouldn't that just be? Wouldn't
pop
that just be McDonald's DoorDash?
And this episode was brought to you by
What?
McDonald's
But they're
DoorDash.
like,
One more
it's
step.
actual meals. Like it's not like HelloFresh where you have to cook it yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
literally just put it
pre-prepared.
in the microwave.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's what I use.
Portioned out.
So
Yep.
and I've stopped eating out and I've stopped buying groceries.
And switch straight to TV dinners.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, TV dinners at like Trader Joe's are legit. They're like
They
a
are.
good meal.
That's right. Trader Joe's Hungry Man. That's what they sell there,
Yeah.
right?
Hungry Joe.
But peak.
Oh, okay.
freeze
Here
dry.
we go.
Freeze
Here we
dried
go.
Here we go
meals.
again.
Oh,
Amazing.
those meals you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Jake, you want to just do a commercial real quick? Go ahead.
Peak Refuel actually liked the post that I made on Instagram.
Oh,
did they?
I
really?
shouted out to them, yeah.
We're not
And so
joking.
did Choco.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
I tagged both of them and they
That's
liked
awesome.
it.
They
We're
are really
famous.
good. I've tried
We're
them
famous.
before.
Peak refuel.
Yeah. My brother is big into the camping and hiking and stuff.
yeah?
And so he buys it.
You should tell him to make you into that stuff so that you can go.
Can you have him fix your?
Would you go if it was like a short one?
No.
Not even like a half a mile?
No.
Can we call your brother and have him come?
What if it's like
To the,
if
what,
I
to the Y.
what if I
Hike
prove
the
to you
Y.
that it's just as many steps as like walking back and forth on the volleyball court in a game?
That's so funny. Hours and hours of volleyball, like just moving around, jumping, diving. No, nothing. It doesn't hurt my ankles. I take my dog on a walk and I like twist my ankle twice. Walking on cement.
That was getting to the sidewalk.
No joke. It's so weird.
What if we go? We were talking. What if we went canoeing? So you would like sit in a canoe,
That doesn't sound exciting.
float across the
You have
lake.
to walk to the canoe.
Here's the
Yeah,
problem.
you have to carry the canoe to the lake.
Here's the problem. He is of the understanding that our ancestor had to do this, so why the hell do we have to do this? Why are we sleeping on the ground carrying canoes past moose when you could be doing other things like playing volleyball?
It's moosin'.
Thank you. That's a good,
You're welcome.
Good.
No
Summary.
No,
Okay, Jake, do a peak refuel, and then I think we're about done with this episode.
Peak Refuel. Take it in and love it.
I got one. Peak refuel, better than your mama's lasagna.
peak refuel.
It won't give you diarrhea.
It certainly won't.
They're pretty expensive though, right?
Yeah, they are. It's
they're
like $12.
a couple dollars more per meal than
Well worth
the
it.
average.
Yeah.
It's like, why pay $5 for garbage when you can pay $12 for a decent meal?
You know who likes peak refuel? Mitt Romney.
Oh, he does.
All of us.
Does he really?
He told us on the phone the other day
Yeah.
that he freaking loves that company.
Yep.
Thanks, Mitt Romney, by the way, for inspiring us to make this podcast. We keep forgetting to bring you up, but you're the best.
Did he?
Yeah, Mitt Romney, you can call 385-323-0684. Leave us a voicemail.
Leave us a message. He's going to be our guest one day.
That's right.
Yeah.
When he's retired and has nothing to lose.
I I guess I'll go on.
All right. Well, I think that if you made it this far, you deserve a little bit of housekeeping that we did not do at the beginning. Jake, how can you reach us?
I just tried to do some of it.
I heard you.
That was our voicemail line, 385-323-0684. And we're on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at American Forked. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/American Forked. You can help support the show because it costs money to run a podcast.
Oh, quick story. I met one of our listeners.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Jake's mom?
Really?
Yeah, I went to have dinner at Brian's house, at Bolt's house, and his brother was there, and he's like, "Yeah, I listen to your podcast." I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
It's funny how we all apologize.
That's
when
really
people
funny.
Say they listen.
He said the ghost stories was one of his favorite episodes.
Oh, that's funny.
Ghost Stories was a good one.
yeah. So, anyways,
I got to say this now, even though I was trying to end the episode, is that I ran into Jake's mother-in-law, and and it's like, "Oh, this is Jeff. He's from the podcast." She's like, "Oh, I listen." And my first response was, "Oh, I'm sorry."
I don't know why. I'd be like, "You're welcome for informing you."
Well, what I mean to say is, I'm sorry for if you've been offended by anything.
it was funny. He was like, he's like, there's good episodes. He's like, there's some episodes where I'm literally screaming in the car.
Those are the
That's
best
like,
episodes.
You're
I hear that
so
from a
wrong,
lot of people.
Trent. You're so stupid, Jeff. And it's like, it's so funny. I was like,
really
That's
funny.
what I was like. I'm sorry.
Those are our favorite
I
episodes.
ran into a listener too. I told you guys at Walmart.
Yeah.
It was Michelle,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Michelle.
who was a teacher at American Fork High School,
Yeah,
and my cheer coach, and Jeff's cheer coach.
that's
and
right.
she really doesn't want you telling everyone that she listens to this.
Did you apologize
She
too?
listens. She says she enjoys it.
Oh yeah.
We'll edit it out.
Hi, Michelle.
What's up, Michelle?
Hi.
You were my favorite biology teacher.
Is that what she taught? You wouldn't know. You didn't go to school.
I did go to that class.
Oh, that was the only
Yeah.
one,
Yep.
probably.
I went to that one, and then I quit that place.
I don't need no high school.
Did
That's so
you
funny.
graduate?
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't go to my senior year of school.
I didn't know that.
Well, we all missed it because we're a year older.
Yeah,
than
you guys were
so-
all a year older, and so when you
When we-
graduated,
So what did you do?
I was just
Well,
hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
Not even
and
all
you
of
guys
us.
just thought that was normal.
Not even all of us graduated either.
I had
Yeah.
no idea. What did you like? You just stopped going?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I got my GED after my mission.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to college. Got a college
Because that was my
degree.
question. Is like, how did you go to college then
Yeah.
if you didn't have high school?
to Berkeley of all.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I
Apparently,
didn't
if
know
you
that.
just play drums instead of going to school, you'll be fine.
That is not advice to anyone who's listening.
Unless you're in America, which apparently you don't have to do much, and you can still go to college.
That's hilarious.
God,
God.
bless this place.
God freaking
Right?
bless America.
Yep.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. Even though it's past and in the past, I love you all. Have a good day.
too. I
Good
do
night.
too.
Oh, yeah.
And good night.
Good night.
tightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring from the capital. When we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last.